Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Auphanim. So we're going to start here today with an article. It's on zcrypto.com. We've seen a similar article to this as a recent, but so what we're seeing is a whole lot of information is coming out saying that crypto is just about to enter their hyper adoption phase. All right. So if it hasn't reached this hyper adoption phase prior to this, right, and you've seen these astronomical gains, astronomical prices, multiple parabolic runs, you can only imagine what's going to happen once the hyper adoption phase is fully underway, right? So we have this article here and it goes as such. This is the title. Wells Fargo latest report reveals cryptocurrencies are in hyper adoption phase. Now, a part of that hyper adoption phase, obviously, and this is highly relevant when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum, part of that hyper adoption phase is regulations, okay, and mass adoption. Now, what we're seeing here a lot is there are a lot of, not a lot, but there's a few states who are trying to legalize or considering legalizing Bitcoin as legal tender. Should that happen, expect more states to follow suit. If you have more states, and that's a lot of people, by the way, and no, I don't have to really tell you, if you have more states that are legalizing Bitcoin as legal tender, that price is going to go up because now it's easier for not only just regular people, business institutions, banks to use it as a fiat currency, a store of value, to purchase things at a store, in a myriad of ways it'll be utilized, right? I'm sure they're going to expand on its possible usages in the future. You still have people developing for Bitcoin. Okay, so that price definitely would be impacted by a high daily volume. So this is something to keep an eye on. This is also something that makes Bitcoin extremely bullish in the future if they can pull off greening Bitcoin up. That's a major catalyst. So mass adoption by the states, okay, mass adoption also by because of regulatory clarity and greening Bitcoin up. That is something to keep an eye on. I'm talking about for long-term holders of Bitcoin. You know, for short-term price action, I really don't cover that. I'm looking at the big picture. That's pretty much what I do here. But the fact that we keep seeing articles about hyper adoption tells you where everything is, and the fact that states are looking to legalize Bitcoin as legal tender is massive news. So here's a few bullet points from the article. Wells Fargo says it's not too late to invest in crypto given the rising interest in the space. Now, I know crypto's been around, it seems like, for a while now, but actually it hasn't. It's still in its early phases. It's taking off rapidly at this point. We're in a rapid stage of development and expansion as far as infrastructure. So I understand why they're saying it's not too late. It's definitely not too late. As I said, if you understand how countries are beginning to mass adopt Bitcoin, right, as legal tender. You got El Salvador. You're probably going to have a lot of its neighbors. I think we have an article here that's going to touch on that. Countries using Bitcoin as legal tender. States using Bitcoin as legal tender. Can you see where everything is going in the future as far as price action? So I'm not too concerned about short term. Long term, if they can green Bitcoin up so that there's no, enemy standing against Bitcoin screaming from the mountaintops that Bitcoin is bad for the environment. If you can negate that, then Bitcoin is going to have a price explosion. And no, that's not an exaggeration. It's going to have a price explosion, but you have to keep your eye on those catalysts, right? So that you know when these things might take place based on the developments of those particular catalysts. So here's another bullet point. The multinational financial services company likens crypto adoption to the internet in 1995. Now, do you remember the internet explosion? All right. And let me tell you something. Crypto, Web3, whatever name is going to go by in its different iterations, it's much more lucrative than the internet explosion, okay? Much more lucrative, much more secure. And on top of that, the technology is developing at a rapid pace. Not only that, the congealing of blockchain technology with others. Like, for instance, you see the article that Ripple put out recently about artificial intelligence being paired with blockchain. Then you have IBM trying to pair artificial intelligence with blockchain. We are in for one extremely how can I say it? Major flood of money, major flood of capital into crypto over the next 3 years. Now, why do I say 3 years? Because it's right in between the time scale set by JP Morgan and the Bank of International Settlements. JP Morgan's minimum of years for setting up crypto infrastructure was like 2 years. The maximum of what Bank of International Settlements time frame was 5 years. And we just had Ripple come out with a document saying 3 years. Okay, so 3 years seems like right in the middle. So I'm going to lean towards 3 years. Infrastructure takes time to set up, to upgrade systems. It takes a little bit of time and a little bit of skill. There's an education curve also that comes with this. All of this takes time. What we've seen from crypto as of right now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of the rest are just its beginning stages. This is much bigger than what I believe people are understanding. There is a new system on the rise, a new way of existence on the rise. And this is deeply tied into that. So with so many integral parts, it's going to take time. We've only just witnessed the beginning. So now we have an article on Cointelegraph.com, and it is titled as such: "To the Roots of Mining, Bitcoin Going Green Faster Than Ever." So what this article was about, the gist of it, from what I gleaned, is that they're not only working on new technologies to green up Bitcoin, right? And not only are they working on layer 2s and other different types of things to ensure that it uses as little energy as possible and that it is going more towards a carbon neutral point in the future, okay? They're greening it up, but also that they're discovering ways to redirect the energy so that there's no wasted energy, there's no greenhouse gases. There is a company that is working on this. I believe the company is in Canada, and they're going to redirect the energy. So not only is it greener and more energy efficient, but that the townships around the mining facilities, the townships in the region can benefit from that energy. They're redirecting that energy that would be wasted to the townships and other locales in the region that they can use it and benefit from it. So there's nothing wasted. There's no greenhouse gases or whatever people got to be afraid of when it comes to Bitcoin. That's great. That's huge news. And I just foresee more companies doing that. I think that might be a little bit more efficient of a way to green up Bitcoin, so to speak. So you have these major catalysts, these major developments coming, and it points to an explosion in price, because what's going to happen, you're going to have more people using Bitcoin for everyday transactions. It's going to be utilized en masse, especially because of its popularity. Okay, there's a lot of millionaires, billionaires pushing it, and it's going to be easy to use now. Let's say regulatory clarity is legalized as tender. People can use it anywhere, and they love Bitcoin, by the way. They really do. Explosion in price is imminent over the next, I say, 2 years. I'm going to give it 2 years, 2 to 3 years, 3 years for infrastructure. But I think the explosion in price could happen before then, honestly. This is long-term stuff here. Okay. But I think a lot of people are going to make pretty good money off of the Bitcoin explosion, in my humble opinion. Ethereum is the same. But I think Ethereum is going to have a couple of parabolic runs this year. Okay, I'm not sure what Bitcoin is going to do this year, but I think in the long run, it's going to have a massive explosion. It could happen this year, but Ethereum seems more on a trajectory to do so, as it has a little bit more going for it. The NFT space on Ethereum right now, while it's dominating the NFT space, it's going to continue to do well. And NFTs are making people a lot of money. So until someone takes that from Ethereum, and it could be anybody, it could be Hedera, has a great NFT space. Algorand is beginning to dominate when it comes to NFTs. So we'll watch how that goes. And they are two prime Ethereum competitors. And definitely in the future, they're going to give Ethereum some problems. Keep an eye on HBAR and Ethereum. Okay. So, but until then, yes, Ethereum is going to do very well, in my humble opinion. I think they're going to have a little bit of a parabolic run at some point this year. I know that sounds a little bit vague, but trust me on this. And I'm basing it on NFTs. I think the NFT space is going to explode coming like towards the spring and summertime. Artists get a little bit more active. People are out, school is out, college is out. People go on vacation and they're willing to spend money. Now people who love crypto also are beginning to love NFTs. So, and NFTs can make a lot more money quicker than crypto right now. That's just my experience. And big money, by the way, big money. Not even just trading NFTs, selling NFTs. You don't have to trade NFTs. You can just sell them. That is going to cause Ethereum's price, with that kind of volume moving across Ethereum and utilization of Ethereum in high volume. My goodness, that alone towards the spring and the summer, my humble opinion, I could be wrong, it's going to cause Ethereum's price to skyrocket. It's going to do very well, in my humble opinion. Very, very well. So keep an eye on the NFT space. I mean, even if you're not in it, it can be a catalyst to let you know, okay, when that price of Ethereum might go up a little bit and people might make a little bit of money. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but you saw what happened last year, didn't you? NFT prices and NFT sales were holding everything up. Okay. So just something that I want to keep in mind. So things are looking pretty good right now. I had more articles, but I think we've gone over enough of why Bitcoin is definitely going to have an explosion in the future. Some of the catalysts to keep eyes on, and that is going green faster than ever. There is hyper adoption at hand. You're starting to see us get to that point. So then it gives you some things to think about if you're trying to make money with Bitcoin. Okay. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.